Everyone, it's me, Miss Branch, the art teacher, here with lesson 7. And in the videos, we learned that sometimes the parent of an animal or looks like they look exactly the same, and sometimes they didn't. So that's one of the details you have to learn in science. So what we're going to make is a picture of a chicken or a hen, the mother, and the babies, and how different they look than they look like the mother. So we're going to make this as a collage, which we've done collages before where you cut out and put things together. And so we're going to draw our hen, and then we're going to get to use some oil pastels. So let me go ahead and switch my cameras so that we can get started. All right. So we're going to need our green piece of paper. This is going to be our grass and what we're going to glue our chicken and our chicks on. So let me put that off to the side. I'm going to have to move that out the way because it's a big piece of paper. And I'm going to move this one out the way and this one for now. And we're going to start with our hen. So now we're going to draw it with a pencil. And then we're going to use oil pastels to add the color. All right. So let me go ahead and get started. Well, you're going to need your pencil first. Let me fix this camera. It's a little twisted. There we go. Now, let's see. I'll move that back a little bit. I think I might be able to. Nope, you can't see it. All right. Well, what we're going to do first is we're going to draw the curved line. Looks like a smile right here in the middle of our paper. Let me put that to the side. So right here, down in the middle, we're going to just make a big curved line, like a big smile. I'll bring the camera in just a little closer so you guys can see my lines. My camera's moving. Let's see. There we go. Nope, it moved again. Let me go back up high. All right. Twist that a little bit so the camera won't move. So now we're going to make the chicken's head. So what we got to do to come up on this side of the smile, we're going to come up just a little bit more, kind of like making the neck. And then right here, we're going to add a sideways V. Now, if you need to turn your paper sideways, vertical, you can put a V if that's easier for you. And don't worry if you mess up, because we're going to trace this with the oil pastel. And now we're going, oh, you know what? I'm going to turn it all the way upside down. It's probably easier to do this way. So now we're going to make the wattle, or the kind of skin that sticks out on the top of a chicken and a rooster's head or a hen. So we're going to make like a W, but we're going to add a third curved line. And now we're just going to come down a bit for the back of the head. And now I'm going to turn my paper back around. And right here, we're going to bring the back. We're just going to draw a straight line. And we have some space here. Now we're going to make the tail feathers. And then just like we made this W here with the, well, the W with the extra hump, we're going to make some bigger ones. 1, 2, 3. Now I can make 4. You might be able to make, 5. I made 5. Now, this one I did 4. And one I did earlier, I only did 3. But it's up to you how many you have. It just depends on how big you draw them, or how wide determines how many you can get. So now we're ready to add our color. Now we're going to use our oil pastel first. Now, before we trace it with the black, I want to color the beak. And I want to do the legs. Now, on this other one, I actually do the legs using the black oil pastel, but I went and looked at some pictures of some chickens and some hens, and they're really more like orange and yellowish and kind of brownish legs. So I will just use the orange when I get to the legs. So what I'm going to do now is just color the beak part. Now, I'm just going to take this and just color in that triangle with the beak. And then for the top of the head, I'm going to make a curved line for the top of the head. And then I'm going to trace the wattle part up here. Oh, you know what? I forgot about the part that hangs underneath their beak. We gotta go back and do that part right now, as soon as I finish coloring this. Now, some chickens have them, they don't, well, most chickens have them. Some of them don't have it, especially like the babies. That's the difference between the big adult and the kid. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn it upside down because we need to make like a little heart shape, and it might be hard for you to make a heart shape upside down. So I'm gonna just make a little heart right there, and now I can turn it back around. And I made the waddle that goes under the chin, and so now I'm going to just color that red too to match the waddle on top. And so now I'm going to go ahead and take my orange and come down here to make the legs. So I'm going to just do 1, 2 lines like that. It kind of come like a little V, and I'm going to color that in. And I'm going to do that again. 1, 2, like a little V. And then I'm going to give it some toes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And now I can take my black and I can trace everything else. Now I'm gonna give it an eye. And now I'm just gonna trace around. And if you kind of go a little out of the space, it's okay. It doesn't touch the line all the time. If you make the line a little thick like I just did, it's fine. Because we're gonna cut out this chicken. So, or the hen. So you can trim it when you're cutting it if you make it too thick and you don't like it. Or you can just leave it if you do like it. And I'm coming down. I'm going to trace around the waddle. And trace the beak. And now I can add like little curved lines for details on the feathers. Because it's covered in feathers. And so now the chicken or the hen is done. So I'll put this piece of paper off to the side. And now we're going to make all the chicks. Because the chicks do not look like their mom when they first come out. They are not the same color. And they look like almost look like the shape of eggs. And they don't, they just don't look the same. So I'm going to get my yellow paper. That way we don't have to color all the yellow. We're just going to draw. And I have my pencil again. Now, I did 5, but you can do more than 5, or you can just do 2 or 3. It's up to you. I just wanted to draw them doing different things, looking in different directions, because it was starting to get fun to draw them. So I will draw each one of these to help you get ideas on how to draw them. And then we can go from there. All right, so now I'm going to start with an oval. And I'm going to draw a triangle in that oval and give it some eyes. And I can draw the legs. I'm going to trace them with the Sharpie. So that's one. And this one I want to look sideways. So I'm going to draw the top part of an oval like that. And I want the back to be just a little bit bent. So I'm going to change the direction of the bottom oval. So it kind of looks like a bean. Like if you ever seen a kidney bean, they kind of shape like this. And then I'm going to give it a beak. And legs with 3 toes. Excuse me. And an eye. And this one, you can only see one eye because it's turned sideways. And let's see. I'm going to do another one this way. And I'm going to just do another oval. And another beak shape. An eye. And a leg. And so it goes 1, 2, 3. I could stop at 3, but I did 5. Let's see what else I did. Oh, I did one looking down, like he's looking in the grass for something to eat. So I'm gonna just do a sideways oval like that. And then I'm gonna just do the legs coming down. And the beak. That's 4. I think I might stop at 4. Now, before I add all the black lines around, I want to color the beak and the legs so that I get them a nice thick color. And the legs. And the beak. And the beaks. Now I can trace around them and color the eyes. And now trace around them. And if you want to trace the beaks, you can trace the beaks too. That's on it. Or you could have didn't have to trace the beak that was in the middle, but I did. If you want to trace the other side of the beak, you can. Or you can just leave it open. I did that on some of mine, on my other picture. So now I'm ready to cut everything out. Now, oh, let me go ahead and put this away. And so now I have my scissors. And I find it easier since I didn't use all this paper. I'm going to cut real close to them and then put my scrap off to the side. And then I can cut really close to each one and separate them from the big piece of paper. And then I can start cutting and following the line, taking my time. And I'm just going to cut around these feet real quick. Now this part's probably going to be the hard. Oop, I'm not in the camera. Sorry, everyone. So this part might be the hardest part to cut because of how close it is. But let's see. I'm going to cut there. And now I can cut that little triangle out in here. Ooh, I'm out of the camera. Ooh, let's see. Make sure. There we go. Make sure. Let's see. And I can cut. Now this time I'm using the tip of the scissors because I need to make little tiny cuts, like little nibbles. Now, if it is too hard for you and you accidentally cut the legs off, it will still be fine because when we glue them on big paper, you could just glue the leg back onto its chin. You could do that. All right, so let me keep cutting. And this part is probably going to take the longest. And like I said, just take your time. And if you accidentally cut the leg off, it is fine. There's one chick. I'll move my scraps out the way. And this one I can get closer. And cut all this extra off first. Make it easier on me. And notice I'm turning the paper, not my scissors. I'm gonna cut close to these toes. So now I can get in there. And cut those little bit out in the middle using the tip of the scissors. You just got to take your time. And you don't have to rush. As you can hear from my voice, I am not rushing. I am taking my time. And there's the next one. And so now I can cut the big areas around the next one though. Again, cut from the back, turn the paper. Cut your big pieces off first. Make it easy for you. There we go. Mm, cut. And there's another one, but I gotta cut the toes out. So again, use the tip of the scissors and just take your time. And there's another chick. Hey, you know what? That looks kind of cool, them all bunched together. Maybe I'll glue them down all bunched close together. I have them spread out on the other one. But that's another cool thing about being an artist. You get to decide where things go in your artwork. You get to make lots and lots of decisions. Now I got all of that. And if you got a lot of paper left over, you want to do more and more chicks, that is totally up to you. You can put as many chicks in your paper, on your paper, as you would like in your collage. And again, when cutting between the toes, just use the tip of the scissors and take little nibbles. I kind of like this, all of them bunched up together. Huh, that might be cool to draw them like, to glue them down like that. I have to think about that. That would be really, really cool. Even though I have a big piece of paper, because like all the one, and this one I spread them all around. And so they all have like their own space. But if I put them all bunched up like that, it'll just look like, they're just sticking together like baby chicks do when they're following their mom and things like that. Oh, let me cut all the big areas off. Oh, I think I'm about to sneeze. Oh, I got a tickle in my nose. Mm. Again, cut all the big areas off. Make it easy for you. Then go back and cut all the little areas. And like if you made a lawn a little thicker than you planned to, you can always trim that line down when you're cutting. Again, your scissors stay still and you just move the paper. I'm going to cut all the way around and come back and then snip those. Mm. Mm. And then we go and do the tail. I'll do the legs last. They take the most work cutting in between the toes. Mm. And let's see, big pieces I can cut off. All right, so now I have my chickens and chicks cut out. And let's see. Let me go ahead and clean up my area. I had to adjust my camera. The bottom part of the camera was stuck by the table, so I couldn't get it to move until just now. And let me put my scrap papers off to the side. And let me get my background paper, which is the green paper. It's going to be the grass. Our chickens are in the grass. And the parent is different from the babies. And that's what we were learning, that some babies look just like the parents and other babies don't. So like I can put them all together, and I can make them overlap. So some look like they're closer and some look like they're further away. And even do that with the mom. Like he's going like behind her, or even put it over here, like he's walking away from the mom and the rest of them. And it's one, this is so cool. You get to arrange them how you want to because you're the artist. Hmm. Let's see. And you can do more chicks than I did. And once you like where they are, of course, it's time to glue them down. So you're going to get your glue, and not a lot, just a dot, a dab of glue will do. Now these legs are going to be a little tricky. So what we're going to have to do is spread that glue on our fingers and then spread that on these little thin little legs. And then put your chick where you want it to go. And since I still have some glue on my finger, I'll go ahead and use it on these legs of this one. And remember, if you accidentally cut the legs off, all you have to do is just glue them down on your paper when you're gluing everything down. Okay. And so 1, 2, and spread the glue. And then what's on my finger, I'm going to spread on these little toes because they're really thin. And then I'm better glue this one down first because he's behind his mom. He's a little bit away. My 2, and spread my glue. And put him right there, or her, not sure. And it can be a baby boy, or it could be a baby girl. They have a bunch of kids, so they have a bunch of different ones. Let's see. So then I'm gonna have to put more glue on this one because this is a bit bigger. And I'm gonna spread on these toes. And spread on that beak and that waddle. And on these feathers. My glue just fell over. Gotta pick that up. And there we go. And so then I can turn it around. I'll put him like it's a little bit walking away that way. And there we have project number 7, learning that some animals look the same as their parents and some of them don't look the same when they're babies. So let me go ahead and switch my pen. So everyone, lesson 7. Yay! We made chicks and we learned that they look the same as the parent. So they will look totally different when they grow up. Where some of us, even including humans, we look the same. Some of us look just like our parents. Some of us I don't. Some of us even look like our grandparents and other family members, which is really, really cool because we don't all have to be the same. So everyone, I will see you in the next lesson.